My beloved child, listen carefully, because what I am about to reveal is not ordinary, and it is not delayed. Today, the heavens have shifted. The prayers you whispered in silence, the tears you cried when no one saw, the questions you asked God late at night, they have all reached the throne. I am Archangel Michael, standing in authority, and I tell you this clearly. The big shift you have been praying for has finally begun. This is not a feeling. This is not imagination. This is a divine movement that cannot be reversed. Something has changed in the spiritual atmosphere around your life today. You may not fully see it yet, but you will feel it. A pressure lifting. A strange calm after long battles. A sudden clarity where confusion lived for years. That is because heaven has issued a command, and when heaven moves, earth must respond. You have been wondering why things felt stuck even though you prayed faithfully. Why doors refused to open. Why delays kept repeating. Hear me now. It was not denial. It was positioning. God was aligning people, timing, and hidden details you could not see. The delay was protection. The silence was preparation. And now, the signal has been released. Today marks the beginning of separation. What is not aligned with your destiny will start to fall away quickly. Some connections will fade without conflict. Some situations will end without explanation. Do not chase what God is removing. This shift is making room. Room for what you asked for. Room for what you almost gave up believing in. I stand with a drawn sword, not against you, but for you. Battles that drain your energy are being handled in the unseen realm. You are not required to fight what God has already decided to finish. The resistance you felt was the last attempt to stop what was inevitable. What had failed. Pay attention in the next few days. Signs will appear in ordinary moments. A message. A conversation. An unexpected thought. These are confirmations, not coincidences. God is speaking fast now. What once took years will move in weeks. What once felt heavy will suddenly feel light. You prayed for change, but you did not realize how deeply it would transform you. This shift is not just external. It is internal. Your discernment is sharpening. Your courage is rising. You will stop tolerating what you once accepted. You will stop shrinking where you were called to stand strong. This is the moment where you step into agreement with who God always said you were. Some people around you will not recognize this new version of you. That is okay. They were assigned to a previous season. Do not explain your evolution to those who benefit from your limitation. Heaven is not asking for permission to elevate you. I must warn you gently, but clearly, do not rush ahead. This shift does not require force. It requires trust. Obedience in small instructions will unlock massive outcomes. What God is building now must be stable, not rushed. Listen more than you speak. Observe more than you react. There is strategy in the stillness. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right on time. The enemy tried to convince you that nothing was happening, but that lie ends today. Movement has begun. Even now, things are rearranging in your favor. Your home will feel different. Your thoughts will sound different. Your prayers will become bolder. This is because authority is returning to you. You are no longer begging for what has already been approved. You are stepping into what was reserved. I see relief coming where stress dominated. I see provision replacing worry. I see clarity dissolving confusion. And most importantly, I see peace, the kind that does not depend on circumstances. This peace is your confirmation that the shift is real. Do not ignore this message. It reached you because your spirit was ready. You were chosen to hear it at this exact moment. The old chapter is closing, whether people understand it or not. And what happens next will truly change everything. Stay attentive. Stay humble. Stay aligned. Because this is only the beginning. Chosen one, take a deep breath and steady your spirit, because what unfolds now is not random. It is ordered. After the shift begins, heaven always releases instructions. Many people miss this stage because they expect fireworks instead of whispers. But listen closely. When God moves you into a new phase, He first rewires how you hear, how you discern, and how you respond. This is where alignment becomes more important than effort. You may notice that your tolerance is changing. Things you once endured without question will now disturb your peace. This is not rebellion. This is discernment activating. Your spirit is rejecting what no longer belongs in your future. You not feel guilty for this. You are not becoming difficult. You are becoming precise. Heaven is refining your boundaries because what is coming next cannot coexist with confusion or compromise. Right after a divine shift, emotions can feel intensified. Old memories may surface. Past conversations may replay in your mind. This is not regression. This is extraction. God is allowing unresolved residue to rise so it can finally be released. Do not dwell there. Observe it, release it, and let it pass. You are not being pulled backward. You are being cleared forward. Archangel Michael stands watch during this phase, guarding what God has initiated. You are protected from interference, but you must remain attentive. Distractions will attempt to appear more attractive now. Old habits may knock louder. Familiar voices may suddenly reappear. This is a test of alignment, not a sign of failure. What you choose in this window determines the speed of what manifests next. You are entering a season where your words carry unusual weight. Be careful with self-talk. Stop declaring what you fear and start agreeing with what God already approved. The enemy cannot cancel what God ordained, but he can delay you if you keep speaking against your own future. Speak gently, but speak intentionally. Silence is better than agreement with doubt. This is also a time of recalibration. Your daily rhythms may shift. Your sleep patterns may change. Your appetite for noise, drama, or surface-level conversations may decrease. You are not isolating. You are being recentered. God often pulls His chosen ones inward before releasing them outward with greater impact. Understand this clearly. Not everyone who walked with you can walk where you are going. Some people were seasonal helpers, not lifelong companions. Release them without bitterness. Bless them without explanation. The next level does not require resentment. It requires lightness. Carrying old emotional weight will slow your ascent. You might feel an unusual urgency to clean, organize, or simplify your environment. This is not coincidence. Physical order supports spiritual clarity. When your space aligns, your mind follows. Like room. Something new needs space to land. Let me speak plainly now. This message reached you for a reason. If it resonates, it means your spirit is awake. You not keep this to yourself. Engage with this moment. Show up for what God is doing. Like this video as an act of agreement. Share it with someone who has been praying quietly and needs confirmation. Comment to anchor this word in the natural realm. And if this channel has been feeding your spirit, subscribe and stay connected. What is coming next will build upon what has already been released. You are not meant to walk this transition alone. There is strength in alignment and momentum in unity. When you participate, you signal readiness. Heaven responds to readiness. And now hear this carefully. The next phase will not announce itself loudly. It will begin subtly. A nudge to act. A push to speak. A door that opens slightly instead of fully. Do not ignore small openings. God often reveals direction in fragments to test obedience. Walk through what you see, and more will be revealed. This is not the time to seek validation from people who doubted you before. Their perspective is outdated. Seek confirmation from peace, not applause. If your spirit remains calm, you are on the right path, even if logic struggles to keep up. Financial concerns, relational strain, and delayed answers have weighed heavily on you. These are areas already marked for intervention. But intervention does not always look like instant replacement. Sometimes it looks like wisdom before provision, clarity before connection, and courage before change. Trust the order. There is a strengthening happening within you now. You will notice yourself responding differently to pressure. What once triggered anxiety will now meet resolve. What once caused tears will now meet boundaries. This is evidence that authority is returning to you. Do not rush outcomes. Do not compare timelines. The pace of your journey is intentional. What God is building through you must endure, not impress. Depth matters more than speed. Hold on to this moment. The next revelation will connect dots you did not even realize were related. Keep your heart open, your mind quiet, and your spirit alert. You will want to stay with this unfolding, because what is about to be revealed will make everything you endured finally make sense. Beloved one, now the veil lifts a little more, and what was hidden begins to breathe. After the shift activates and alignment settles, heaven always reveals truth, not all at once, but enough to steady your steps. This is the phase where understanding replaces confusion. You may suddenly realize why certain prayers were delayed, why certain doors closed painfully, and why some seasons felt unbearably long. It was never punishment. It was precision. Archangel Michael stands closer now, not only as a warrior but as a revealer. His presence brings clarity, not chaos. You are beginning to see patterns you missed before. You are connecting dots that once felt unrelated. Moments from your past are aligning like pieces of a divine puzzle, and the picture forming is far greater than what you imagined. This awareness is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to free you. There is a truth coming to the surface about your strength. You underestimated yourself because you measured your capacity by human standards. Heaven measures differently. Every time you survived what should have broken you, authority was deposited into your spirit. Every time you chose faith over bitterness, light increased within you. This is why the shift chose you. You were for it. You may feel an internal separation happening now. Old fears no longer fit. Old excuses feel heavy. Even old dreams may feel too small. This is because God is upgrading your vision. What once felt impossible will soon feel inadequate. Do not be alarmed if you outgrow goals you once prayed for. Growth does that. Heaven never answers prayers to keep you limited. There is also exposure happening, but not to harm you. Hidden motives around you will become visible. Masks will slip without confrontation. Truth will reveal itself naturally. You are not called to expose anyone. Clarity will do the work for you. When you see clearly, you move wisely. When you move wisely, you stay protected. Your heart is being trained to listen faster. The voice of God will feel more familiar than the noise of the world. This does not mean you will never feel doubt, but doubt will no longer lead. Peace will. When a decision brings peace, even if it scares you, it is aligned. When something feels loud, rushed, or pressured, pause. Heaven does not shout to control, it whispers to guide. Archangel Michael is also guarding your rest. If sleep hath been interrupted, it is temporary. If dreams feel vivid, pay attention. Messages are being delivered gently. Write them down if you can. Not every dream is symbolic, but some are instructional. Ask for understanding, not interpretation. God will make clear what matters. This stage requires trust without full visibility. You will not have all the answers, but you will have enough assurance to move. Faith grows strongest when it walks before certainty arrives. You are being taught to lean into divine timing instead of human urgency. What is rushing you is not from God. What is grounding you is. You may feel called to forgive without an apology. This is not weakness. This is release. Forgiveness here is not about reconciling. It is about untying your future from your past. When you release resentment, momentum increases. Heaven moves faster through an unburdened heart. There is a mantle of courage settling on you now. You will speak more honestly, but with grace. You will choose yourself without guilt. You will stop explaining your obedience to people who benefit from your silence. This courage is quiet, but it is unshakable. Understand this. The shift did not begin because circumstances change. Circumstances will change because you did. Authority flows from identity, not environment. As you stand differently, life responds differently. This message is not entertainment. It is confirmation. You were meant to hear it at this exact point in your journey. Let it anchor you. Let it remind you that you are seen, supported, and strategically positioned. Now receive this instruction with humility and confidence. Protect your peace. Guard your words. Follow the nudge, even when it does not make sense yet. The next unfolding will require the clarity you are receiving now. Type "I receive the shift" in the comments if this message is aligning with your spirit. Blessing code 639 has just been released. This is the moment where the light you carry must be multiplied. As I speak, God says He is sending this word to homes that are desperate for hope and clarity. When you sow into this mission through Super Thanks membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are placing oil in the lamp so the light reaches further. I am inviting you personally to respond, not as a donation, but as obedience to the stirring in your spirit. Just as Scripture declares that seed sown in faith returns as harvest, your giving opens rivers of revelation for others. This act aligns with the shift you are experiencing now, because movement follows obedience. I speak blessing over every giver. May provision rise, peace increase, and doors open without strain. Do not delay what God is prompting you to do. Act now and release the seed. My dear one, now comes the phase most people misunderstand, yet it is one of the most powerful moments in any divine transition. After revelation settles in your spirit, heaven allows a quiet stretch. This is not emptiness. This is incubation. What God has spoken is now taking root beneath the surface, and roots grow in silence. Do not mistake this stillness for stagnation. This is where strength is being formed without noise. You may notice that external movement slows while internal conviction deepens. Conversations feel fewer but more meaningful. Decisions feel heavier, yet clear. This is intentional. God is training you to move with discernment instead of impulse. The next steps in your journey require maturity, not urgency. What is coming must be stewarded wisely, or it will overwhelm instead of bless. Archangel Michael remains near, not to fight loudly, but to guard quietly. His protection in this season is subtle but precise. You are being shielded from battles you do not need to fight and conversations you do not need to enter. Pay attention to what no longer reaches you. That silence is protection, not neglect. There may be moments when you feel tempted to doubt again. Old thoughts may try to re-enter, whispering that nothing is changing. This is not truth. It is residue. When a shift happens, echoes of the old season linger briefly, trying to reclaim territory. Do not engage them. Let them pass without response. Resistance only gives them energy. Indifference dissolves them. This is also the stage where patience is tested, not because God is slow, but because your capacity is expanding. Patience is not waiting without emotion, it is trusting without control. You are learning to rest while things are still unfolding. That rest is a weapon. Anxiety rushes outcomes before they are ready. Peace allows them to arrive whole. You may feel drawn to solitude more than before. Not isolation, but intentional withdrawal. Your spirit is craving clarity, not noise. Honor that need. Silence sharpens perception. In quiet moments, insights will surface unexpectedly. A sentence will suddenly make sense. A memory will reveal its purpose. These are not random thoughts. They are downloads. Let me speak clearly about relationships during this phase. Some people will sense the change in you before you speak it. They may react with distance, curiosity, or subtle resistance. Do not internalize this. When your frequency changes, alignment shifts. Those meant to walk with you forward will adjust naturally. Those who cannot will drift without explanation. Let it happen without forcing closure. There is also healing happening at deeper levels now. Wounds you thought were resolved may briefly resurface, not to reopen, but to finally close properly. God is thorough. He does not build new foundations on unresolved fractures. Allow the healing process to complete. Feel what needs to be felt, then release it. You are safe to do so now. Financial and practical matters may require wisdom in this season. Avoid impulsive commitments. Avoid promising more than you are instructed to give. This is a time to observe patterns, not rush investments of time, energy, or resources. God will bring clarity step by step. Trust gradual instruction over sudden pressure. You are also being trained to recognize divine timing. Opportunities will begin to appear that look good but are not aligned. Learn to say no without guilt. Saying no to the wrong thing preserves strength for the right thing. Alignment always feels calm, even when it stretches you. Distraction feels exciting but draining. Learn the difference. This phase is building spiritual muscle. You are learning consistency without applause, obedience without immediate reward, and faith without constant reassurance. These are marks of spiritual authority. Anyone can trust when results are instant. Few can trust when outcomes are still forming. You are becoming one of the few. Archangel Michael's presence now reinforces courage through restraint. You do not need to announce your progress. You do not need to prove your calling. What is genuine will be evident in time. Let God defend what He ordained. Your role is to remain aligned, not loud. Watch how your reactions change. Situations that once triggered you will now meet calm response. This is growth revealing itself naturally. You are not suppressing emotion. You are mastering it. Mastery creates stability, and stability attracts favor. Do not underestimate the importance of this quiet stretch. Many blessings fail because people rush past preparation. You are not rushing. You are readying. What is being prepared for you will require the steadiness you are developing now. Soon movement will resume more visibly. Doors will open with less resistance. Conversations will align without effort. Resources will appear at the right moment. But for now, remain grounded. This is the strengthening before the release. Stay present. Stay receptive. Stay patient. What is forming now will support everything that comes next. Beloved soul, the atmosphere around you is changing again, but this time it is more personal, more intimate. What began as a shift in the unseen is now pressing gently into your daily life. You may notice small but undeniable differences in how you wake up, how you respond, how you carry yourself through ordinary moments. This is not coincidence. This is integration. What God released in the Spirit is now being woven into your identity. There is a strengthening of resolve happening within you. Where hesitation once lived, certainty is quietly taking its place. You are not forcing confidence. It is emerging naturally. This is because truth has settled in your bones. You are no longer trying to convince yourself of what God said. You are beginning to know it. And knowing brings stability that no external circumstance can shake. Archangel Michael remains present, not as a distant guardian, but as a steady reinforcement. His role now is to help you hold your ground. You are not being pushed forward aggressively. You are being anchored. Grounding is necessary before elevation. Without it, promotion becomes pressure instead of blessing. Heaven is making sure you are rooted deeply enough to rise without losing balance. You may feel moments of anticipation mixed with calm, a sense that something is approaching, yet no anxiety attached to it. This is a sign of alignment. When anticipation comes without fear, it means your spirit trusts the source. You are no longer bracing for disappointment. You are open to fulfillment. Pay attention to your intuition in this season. It will speak softly but accurately. You will sense when to pause and when to proceed. You will know when a conversation is necessary and when silence is wiser. This discernment is a gift refined through obedience. Honor it. Do not override it with logic alone. Logic has its place, but intuition is how heaven whispers direction. There is also a recalibration of desire happening. Some things you wanted intensely before may no longer hold the same appeal. This does not mean they were wrong. It means they served a previous version of you. As you grow, your desires mature. God is aligning your wants with your purpose so that fulfillment and obedience no longer feel separate. You may encounter moments where the past tries to reintroduce itself subtly. An old opportunity framed differently. A familiar pattern disguised as growth. This is where awareness matters. Not everything that returns is meant to be reclaimed. Some things resurface only to confirm how far you have come. You are not obligated to re-engage with what you have already outgrown. This stage also brings an invitation to trust yourself again. Over time, disappointment may have taught you to doubt your judgment. God is restoring your confidence and discernment. You are learning that you can hear clearly, choose wisely, and move faithfully. This restoration of self-trust is essential, because where you are going will require decisive faith. Emotionally, you may feel lighter yet more serious about your calling. Joy will feel calmer, not louder. Peace will feel deeper, not fragile. You are not losing passion. You are gaining focus. Focus conserves energy and directs it purposefully. This is how endurance is built. Be mindful of how you manage your energy now. Not everyone deserves access to your attention. Not every request requires a response. Stewardship of energy is stewardship of calling. God is teaching you to give from overflow, not depletion. When you operate from overflow, generosity does not exhaust you. It multiplies you. There is also a quiet confidence forming in how you pray. Your prayers are becoming less about convincing God and more about aligning with Him. You are no longer asking repeatedly for the same thing. You are beginning to thank Him in advance. The shift in prayer language signals faith maturation. Gratitude before manifestation accelerates fulfillment. Do not be surprised if others begin to seek your insight unexpectedly. Wisdom attracts inquiry. You may find people opening up to you, asking for perspective, or simply feeling safe around you. This is not accidental. What you carry now brings calm to others. Guard this gift with humility. Influence grows best when it is not forced. Archangel Michael's protection in this phase also includes emotional boundaries. You are learning to care without caring, to support without absorbing. Compassion does not require self-sacrifice to the point of harm. Healthy boundaries are not walls, they are gates. You decide what enters and what stays out. This part of the journey may feel less dramatic, but it is deeply transformational. You are becoming consistent. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. Anyone can burn brightly for a moment. Few can shine steadily over time. God values longevity. What He is preparing through you is meant to last. Soon, external confirmation will begin to mirror internal certainty. Opportunities will align with your values. Doors will open without struggle. Conversations will flow without tension. But even before these appear, know this: the most important work has already begun within you. Remain grounded. Remain attentive. Remain faithful in small choices. You are not waiting anymore. You are becoming. My beloved one, now we arrive at a moment that quietly tests everything you have received so far. This is the phase where movement begins again, but it does not come as chaos or rush. It comes as responsibility. What God has deposited in you now asks to be expressed through choices. Alignment is no longer just internal. It becomes visible through action, discipline, and discernment in real time. You may notice that situations are presenting you with options more frequently. Not dramatic crossroads, but subtle decisions. How you respond to pressure. How you manage your time. How you speak when emotions rise. These moments matter more than you realize. They are shaping the container that will hold what God is about to pour out. Blessings expand only as far as character allows. Archangel Michael stands firmly in this stage, strengthening your resolve when old reflexes try to return. You are no longer reacting, you are responding. There is a difference. Reaction is automatic and rooted in the past. Response is intentional and rooted in wisdom. Every time you pause before acting, you are choosing authority over impulse. This is also the phase where consistency is required without constant confirmation. You may not feel the same intensity as before, but do not confuse that with absence. God often reduces emotional intensity when He wants to build reliability. Feelings fluctuate. Commitment does not. What you are building now is sustainable faith, not emotional dependence. There may be moments when you question whether you are still moving forward because things feel normal again. This is a trick of perception. Growth often feels ordinary while it is happening. Transformation becomes obvious only when you look back. Trust the process even when it feels uneventful. Seeds grow underground before they ever break the surface. You are also learning discernment and engagement. Not every battle deserves your energy. Not every disagreement needs your voice. Wisdom is teaching you when to engage and when to remain silent. Silence is not weakness when it is guided by clarity. It is strategy. Archangel Michael does not swing his sword at everything. He moves with precision. Pay attention to how peace now acts as your internal compass. When something disrupts that peace repeatedly, It is information. Do not ignore it. Peace is not passivity. It is alignment. God uses peace to confirm direction more often than signs. When peace withdraws, pause and reassess. This stage may also reveal who truly supports your growth. Some people will celebrate your steadiness. Others may feel uncomfortable with it. Your consistency may challenge those who rely on chaos. This is not your burden to manage. Continue walking with integrity. Let your life speak without explanation. You are entering a rhythm where discipline becomes devotion. Daily choices, small routines, and intentional habits are now sacred. This is how calling is sustained. Big moments get attention, but small disciplines create longevity. Heaven honors what is done faithfully, not just what is done publicly. Let me remind you of something important now. This message is not reaching you by accident. If it resonates, it means you are meant to be here, listening, receiving, and growing. Do not keep this moment private. Like this video to signal agreement with what God is doing in your life. Share it with someone who feels stuck and needs clarity. Leave a comment as a declaration that you are staying aligned. And if this channel has been part of your journey, subscribe and stay connected, because what is unfolding builds layer by layer, and you are meant to hear what comes next. And I'll hear this carefully. The next phase will require focus. Distractions will appear more refined, more reasonable. Not everything distracting will look negative. Some distractions will look like opportunities. This is why discernment matters. Ask not only, is this good? But is this aligned for now? Timing is as important as intention. You may feel a growing sense of ownership over your calling. Not pride, but responsibility. You understand now that obedience is not about perfection. It is about faithfulness. You will make mistakes, but you will not abandon the path. That resilience is evidence of maturity. There is also a strengthening in how you handle uncertainty. You no longer panic when answers are delayed. You wait with expectation instead of anxiety. This calm endurance is rare, and it is powerful. It allows God to work without interference. Archangel Michael's presence here reinforces courage through clarity. You know what matters now. You know what does not. This clarity simplifies life. When purpose is clear, decisions become lighter. Stay alert in this season. What comes next will build directly on how you steward this phase. You will want to remain attentive, because the unfolding ahead will connect everything you have been sensing into something tangible. Hold steady. This is where preparation becomes momentum. Beloved one, as you move forward now, something subtle yet powerful is taking place. The noise around you is fading, not because life has become empty, but because your spirit has learned how to prioritize truth over distraction. This is the stage where clarity settles in your bones. You are no longer asking, "Is this God?" as often, because recognition has become instinctive. Discernment has matured into knowing. You may notice that you are less reactive to external events. Situations that once demanded emotional energy now pass through you without disturbance. This is not detachment. This is authority. When storms no longer control your internal state, it means you are anchored. Anchored people are not easily moved, manipulated, or misled. Archangel Michael's presence in this phase is firm and steady. He is not rushing you, nor is he holding you back. He is standing beside you, reinforcing your spiritual posture. You are learning to stand without striving. Strength is no longer something you summon. It is something you carry. This part of the journey teaches you to trust consistency over excitement. You may not feel dramatic highs, but you will experience deep stability. Stability is often overlooked, yet it is the foundation of every lasting breakthrough. Without it, blessings collapse under their own weight. With it, even small progress compounds into something powerful. You are also becoming more aware of how words shape atmosphere. You choose them more carefully now, not because you are afraid to speak, but because you understand the power of speech. Silence, when chosen intentionally, has become one of your strongest tools. You speak when it matters. You remain quiet when it protects your peace. There may be moments when you feel misunderstood. Your calm may be interpreted as distance. Your boundaries may be seen as coldness. Let this not trouble you. Those who are aligned will understand without explanation. Those who are not would not have understood even if you tried. Clarity frees you from the need to be fully understood by everyone. This stage also refines your patience with others. You recognize that not everyone is at the same level of awareness. Compassion replaces frustration. You no longer feel the need to correct, convince, or convert. You trust that God works with each person in His own time, just as He did with you. There is a quiet joy developing now. It is not loud or dependent on circumstances. It comes from inner agreement. You are no longer fighting yourself. Your thoughts, choices, and values are aligning. When internal conflict resolves, peace becomes natural. You may feel drawn to simplify further. Fewer commitments, clear priorities, more intentional rest. This is wisdom, not withdrawal. Simplicity makes room for presence. Presence allows you to recognize divine moments as they happen, instead of realizing them only in hindsight. Archangel Michael continues to guard you from unnecessary spiritual conflict. Some battles that once found you now bypass you entirely. This is not because opposition disappeared, but because access was denied. You have learned how to remain in alignment, and alignment creates protection. You are also learning how to wait without stagnation. Waiting no longer feels like being stuck. It feels like being positioned. This shift in perception changes everything. When waiting is purposeful, it strengthens rather than frustrates. You are no longer watching the clock. You are watching for instruction. There is a deepening trust in divine timing now. You are no longer tempted to rush outcomes or force results. You understand that what arrives prematurely often demands maintenance you were never meant to provide. What arrives on time sustains itself with grace. You may notice increased sensitivity to environments. Some places feel heavy, others peaceful. This is discernment sharpening further. Under it, where your spirit feels nourished, remain. Where it feels drained, limit exposure. You are responsible for the atmosphere you allow around you. This phase also strengthens your resilience. Challenges may still appear, but they no longer shake your identity. You face them with calm assessment instead of emotional reaction. Problems become tasks, not threats. This mindset shift is evidence of growth. Let me speak plainly now. You are no longer in recovery mode. You are in readiness. Readiness does not mean perfection. It means availability. You are available to listen, to act, to adjust when guided. This posture allows God to move through you with ease. You may sense that something is approaching, though it has not yet taken shape. This is anticipation without anxiety. Your spirit recognizes movement before your mind can label it. Trust that awareness is preparing you without overwhelming you. Stay grounded in what you know. Do not seek signs to confirm what peace has already established. Confirmation will come naturally, but peace is enough to proceed. You are not behind. You are not missing anything. You are exactly where you need to be. Remain steady now. The next unfolding will bring visible change, and the calm you carry will allow you to receive it fully. My chosen one, now you step into a moment where the unseen begins to echo into the visible. This is not sudden, but it is undeniable. What has been forming quietly is now pressing closer to manifestation. You may feel a heightened awareness, as if something important is within reach but not yet fully revealed. This sensation is not anxiety, it is readiness. Your spirit recognizes that preparation is meeting opportunity. In this phase, responsibility and reward begin to walk side by side. You are no longer being shaped only for yourself, but for impact. The way you think, speak, and respond now carries weight beyond your personal life. You are becoming an answer to prayers you did not personally pray. This is how divine assignments unfold, first inwardly, then outwardly. Archangel Michael's presence intensifies here, not with noise, but with authority. He stands as a guardian of thresholds, ensuring that what enters your life now is aligned with heaven's order. This is why certain things may feel delayed at the last moment. It is not denial. It is inspection. Only what matches your new level is allowed to pass through. You may notice an increase in spiritual sensitivity. Words land deeper. Moments feel more meaningful. You sense when something is significant even if it looks ordinary. This is discernment operating at a higher frequency. Do not dismiss these impressions. Eye them. Heaven often hides its greatest movements inside subtle moments. This sage also asks for courage without applause. You may take steps that few people see or understand. Obedience here may feel lonely at times, but it is powerful. God often does his most important work away from crowds. What is built in private carries authority in public. There may be a temptation to look back now, to measure how far you have come or compare your pace with others. Resist that urge. Comparison drains clarity. Your journey is precise. Every delay, every acceleration, every pause was intentional. You are not late, and you are not early. You are aligned. You are also learning how to steward momentum. Momentum does not mean rushing. It means responding when the moment is ripe. You will feel a gentle urgency to act on certain things. When that nudge comes with peace, move. When urgency comes with pressure, wait. Learning this distinction protects you from burnout and regret. This is a season where faith matures into trust. Faith believes God can. Trust knows God will. That knowing changes how you wait, how you pray, and how you plan. You are no longer preparing for disappointment. You are preparing for responsibility. Archangel Michael's protection now extends to your purpose. This alignment will feel uncomfortable quickly. What once took months to recognize will now take moments. This is not hypersensitivity. It is refinement. Your spirit is calibrated to truth more accurately than before. You may sense a call to be more intentional with your influence. The words you share, the advice you give, the energy you carry, all of it matters. Influence does not require a platform. It requires presence. Where you are consistent, impact will follow naturally. Let me speak directly now. This message is reaching many who have been standing at the edge of obedience, unsure whether to step forward fully. If this resonates with you, it is because you are meant to respond, not just listen. This is not a passive season. Engagement activates alignment. Type "I step forward" in the comments if your spirit is agreeing with this moment. Blessing code 8451 has just been released. Now hear this as a continuation of what God is doing through you. This word is not meant to stop with you. There are others who are still in confusion, still waiting for confirmation, still praying quietly for clarity. When you support this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are sowing light into places of darkness. I am speaking to you personally now. Your action in this moment is a prophetic response, not a donation. Just as God declares that those who sow generously will reap abundantly, your seed becomes a channel for revelation to reach souls that need it. This support aligns with the shift unfolding in your life, because obedience unlocks movement. I release blessing over every giver. May your resources multiply, your path clear, and your peace deepen. Do not hesitate. Act now and release what heaven has placed in your hand. Stay attentive. Stay humble. Stay aligned. What is approaching will require the clarity and courage you now carry. Beloved one, now you enter a stretch of the journey where steadiness becomes your greatest strength. The excitement of anticipation softens, and what remains is quiet confidence. This is not a loss of momentum. It is refinement of it. God is teaching you how to carry expectancy without anxiety, hope without restlessness, and purpose without pressure. This balance is rare, and it is powerful. You may notice that life feels strangely normal again, even though you know deep within that nothing is the same. This is because transformation has moved from the surface into the structure of who you are. When change becomes internalized, it no longer needs to announce itself. You are not waiting for proof anymore. You are living from assurance. Archangel Michael continues to stand watch, not intervening loudly, but ensuring stability. In this phase, protection looks like restraint. You are being guarded from premature exposure, from explaining things too early, from stepping into spaces before they are ready to receive you. Silence here is not delay. It is strategy. This is also the phase where trust is tested gently, not through crisis, but through continuity. Can you remain faithful when nothing dramatic happens? Can you continue walking in alignment when there is no immediate reward? These questions are not accusations. They are invitations into maturity. Endurance is built when faith continues without constant stimulation. You may find yourself revisiting certain thoughts, not with fear, but with curiosity. Questions like, am I truly ready? Or what if this requires more than I expected? These thoughts are not doubt, they are awareness. Readiness often comes with the realization that responsibility is real. Do not shrink from this awareness. It means you are taking your calling seriously. Your discernment is now operating with less effort. You sense when to engage and when to withdraw without overthinking it. This ease is evidence of growth. When wisdom becomes instinctive, life feels less complicated, even when it is demanding. You are no longer solving everything with your mind alone. Your spirit is leading. There may be moments when people from your past resurface, curious about the change they sense in you. Their questions may be subtle. Their interest may be cautious. Respond with grace, not explanation. You do not owe clarity to those who are only observing. Let your consistency speak over time. This stage also teaches you how to hold joy quietly. Happiness does not need to be loud to be real. Contentment does not need to be displayed to be valid. You are learning to enjoy peace without announcing it. This protects what God is building from unnecessary interference. You may also feel a stronger pull toward intentional living. Time feels more valuable now. You are less willing to waste it on distractions, conflict, or meaningless obligations. This is not selfishness. This is stewardship. When purpose becomes clear, priorities naturally sharpen. Archangel Michael's presence now reinforces patience with precision. You are not meant to wait passively, but you are also not meant to force progress. There is a narrow path between passivity and impatience, and you are learning to walk it with balance. This balance keeps you aligned even when outcomes are still forming. You may notice subtle confirmations appearing, small alignments, timely conversations, moments of affirmation that arrive without effort. These are not coincidences. They are gentle reassurances that you are still on course. God often confirms direction quietly once trust is established. This phase also strengthens humility. As clarity increases, so does awareness of how much you still depend on God. Confidence and humility are not opposites. They grow together when rooted correctly. You are becoming confident without becoming rigid, assured without becoming prideful. There may be days when you feel a longing you cannot fully name, a sense that something meaningful is approaching, yet undefined. This longing is not lack. It is invitation. It keeps your heart open and your spirit alert. Do not rush to label it. Let it keep you attentive. You are also learning how to rest without guilt. Rest no longer feels like avoidance. It feels like obedience. You understand now that rest is not stopping progress. It is sustaining it. God often does His deepest work when you are still enough to receive. Let me speak clearly now. You are not in a holding pattern. You are in a strengthening pattern. What you are becoming in this season will determine how well you carry what is coming next. Depth now prevents damage later. Do not underestimate the value of consistency in this phase. Showing up daily with integrity matters more than occasional bursts of effort. Heaven honors faithfulness that continues even when no one is watching. Remain present. Remain grounded. Remain willing. The next movement will require the calm strength you are developing now, and you will be ready to meet it without fear. My beloved child, now we come to a turning where inner readiness begins to meet external motion. This is not the final unveiling, but it is a decisive stretch. The season of deep formation has done its work, and now God begins to test your steadiness in motion. Not with pressure, not with chaos, but with responsibility that arrives quietly and expects faithfulness. You may feel a renewed sense of alertness, as if your spirit is standing upright again after a long period of grounding. This is because direction is becoming clearer. You are not guessing as much anymore. You sense when to move and when to wait with greater confidence. This clarity did not come overnight. It was earned through obedience in unseen moments. Archangel Michael stands at your side here as a stabilizer. His presence now is about reinforcement. You are not being pushed forward blindly. You are being guided step by step, with protection around what matters most. The enemy's access to confuse you has been reduced significantly. That is why distractions now feel obvious instead of tempting. This phase will ask you to act without overthinking. You may receive simple instructions that do not come with full explanations. A nudge to reach out. A pull to disengage. A sense to prepare without knowing exactly for what. This is trust in practice. You are learning to move with God, not ahead of Him and not behind Him. There may be moments where old habits attempt to resurface, not with strength, but with familiarity. Do not be alarmed. Familiarity does not mean authority. Just because something feels known does not mean it is meant to stay. You now recognize patterns faster, and recognition gives you choice. Choice gives you freedom. You are also becoming more comfortable with being misunderstood. Your decisions may no longer align with what others expect from you. This is not rebellion. It is alignment. When your obedience becomes personal, approval becomes optional. You are not isolating yourself. You are simply no longer negotiating your calling. Archangel Michael's role here includes guarding your focus. Focus is your greatest asset now. Where you place your attention will grow. Where you withdraw it will weaken. Be intentional. Do not scatter your energy trying to please everyone. Concentrated faith produces lasting fruit. This is also a season where integrity is quietly rewarded. Small acts of honesty, discipline, and restraint are being noticed in the unseen. Heaven tracks consistency, not performance. You may not see immediate results, but alignment is being recorded. Nothing done in obedience is ever wasted. Let me speak directly now. If this message is resonating with you, it is because you are meant to stay connected. Do not drift away during this stretch. Engage with what God is doing. Like this video as a sign of agreement. Share it with someone who needs direction right now. Comment to declare that you are remaining aligned. And if this channel has been a place of clarity for you, subscribe and stay close. What unfolds next will build directly on what you are hearing now. Hold on, because what comes next will tie together things you have been sensing but could not yet explain. Now understand this clearly. The movement beginning now is not about speed. It is about accuracy. God is positioning you carefully so that when doors open, you step into the right ones, not just the available ones. Misalignment at this level would be costly. That is why precision matters more than pace. You may also feel a growing sense of responsibility toward your inner life. What you consume mentally, emotionally, and spiritually matters more now. Guard your inputs. What you allow into your mind shapes how clearly you hear God. Clarity is preserved through intentional boundaries. This phase strengthens your confidence and obedience. You are no longer asking for permission to follow what you know is right. You move with quiet assurance. This confidence is not loud, but it is unshakable. It comes from repeated confirmation, not impulsive belief. You may notice that solutions appear more easily now. Problems that once felt overwhelming are resolved with calm steps. This is not because challenges disappeared, but because your perspective has changed. Authority changes how you see obstacles. The ones lived like wolves, they'll live like deaths. Archangel Michael's protection now includes shielding you from unnecessary emotional drain. You are learning to disengage without guilt. Peace is becoming non-negotiable. This is not selfishness. It is stewardship of what God entrusted to you. There is also an invitation here to trust momentum without fear. Momentum does not mean loss of control. When momentum is guided by God, it carries you without exhausting you. You are learning to move with grace, not strain. Do not underestimate the importance of this phase. Many people stumble here because they grow impatient or distracted. You are being invited to stay present. Stay focused. Stay receptive. The clarity you hold now is preparing you for what comes next. Remain steady. The unfolding ahead will require the confidence and focus you are building right now, and you are more prepared than you realize. Beloved one, now you are standing at the edge of visible confirmation. This is not the climax yet, but it is the moment where faith and reality begin to overlap. What you believed in the unseen is preparing to show its outline in the natural. You may sense this as a quiet anticipation, a calm alertness that keeps your spirit attentive without making your heart restless. This is the posture of readiness. In this phase, God refines your perception even further. You are learning not to misinterpret movement as fulfillment. Just because something begins does not mean it is complete. Wisdom here is knowing how to walk with unfolding grace rather than rushing to conclusions. Patience is no longer something you force. It is something you practice naturally. Archangel Michael stands firmly in this stage as a guardian of truth. His presence now protects you from deception that comes disguised as progress. Not every open door is yours. Not every opportunity is aligned. This is why your discernment feels sharper than ever. You are not suspicious. You are aware. Awareness keeps you safe without making you fearful. You may notice that your prayers sound different now. They are less emotional and more intentional. You are no longer repeating requests out of anxiety. You are declaring alignment out of trust. This shift in prayer language signals authority. You are speaking as someone who knows God hears, not as someone hoping to be noticed. There may be moments when you feel an urge to explain yourself, to clarify your journey to others. Resist that urge. Explanation dilutes power when it is premature. What God is doing through you will eventually explain itself. Until then, silence preserves integrity. You are not hiding. You are protecting. This phase also tests your ability to remain grounded while anticipation grows. Excitement without grounding leads to instability. You are being taught how to hold expectancy with humility. Gratitude now becomes your anchor. Thankfulness keeps your heart aligned even before outcomes are visible. You may experience moments of increased responsibility, small tasks that seem insignificant but require faithfulness. Do not dismiss them. These are training points. God often measures readiness through stewardship of what seems small. Faithfulness here determines access later. Archangel Michael's role now includes strengthening your inner authority. You are less influenced by opinions and more guided by conviction. This does not make you rigid. It makes you steady. You are open to correction, but not to confusion. That balance is rare and valuable. There may be a sense of emotional neutrality settling in. Autonomous but calm. You are no longer riding emotional highs and lows. This is emotional maturity. Stability allows you to make clear decisions even when outcomes are uncertain. You are learning to trust process over feeling. You might also notice that distractions lose their appeal. Things that once entertained or consumed your attention no longer satisfy. This is not loss. It is refinement. Your appetite is changing because your purpose is clarifying. What no longer feeds your spirit naturally falls away. This stage strengthens your trust in divine order. You understand now that God's timing is not random. Delays were not denials, they were alignments. Even now, what feels slow is precise. Precision matters more than speed at this level. You may sense that certain conversations are approaching, moments where truth will need to be spoken gently but firmly. Do not rehearse them in fear. When the moment comes, clarity will guide your words. Speak with grace, not defense. Authority does not need to argue. Archangel Michael continues to guard your mind. Doubt may attempt to whisper again, but it will not linger. You recognize it too quickly now. Recognition breaks its power. You are not fighting thoughts. You are discerning them. There is also a deepening trust in yourself developing. You are learning that you can follow through, that you can remain faithful, that you can handle what God places in your hands. This self-trust is not pride. It is restoration. God is healing areas where disappointment once made you question your own capacity. This phase may feel like standing still, but it is not. It is alignment locking into place. Like gears settling before motion resumes, this pause ensures smooth movement ahead. Without it, progress will grind or break. You are closer now than you realize. Not just to outcomes, but to embodiment. You are becoming the version of yourself that can carry what you ask for. This is the greatest gift of the journey. Remain attentive. Remain humble. Remain obedient in small things. What follows next will not just change circumstances. It will confirm everything God has been building within you. My beloved child, this is the moment where heaven seals what it has been forming all along. Not with noise, not with spectacle, but with undeniable confirmation. What began as a whisper, what grew through preparation, discipline, clarity, and endurance, now reaches completion in alignment. This is not the end of your journey, but it is the end of waiting for permission. You are no longer becoming ready. You are ready. There is a deep knowing settling in your spirit now. Not excitement, not anxiety, but assurance. You do not need constant signs anymore. Peace has become your confirmation. The same God who guided you through confusion, silence, and growth has now established you. What once felt fragile is now stable. What once felt distant is now within reach. Archangel Michael stands before you in this final phase, not with a drawn sword, but with authority established. The battles that once surrounded you are behind you now. You are no longer fighting for position. You are standing in it. This is the reward of obedience that did not quit, faith that did not collapse, and patience that did not harden into bitterness. You may notice that things around you begin to respond differently. Conversations shift. Opportunities align. Resistance weakens. This is not because the world suddenly changed. It is because you did. Authority always changes atmosphere. When you walk differently, life responds differently. This phase invites you to trust fully. No more rehearsing worst-case scenarios. No more bracing for disappointment. God did not bring you this far to abandon you at the threshold. What opened now opens with intention. What closes now closes with protection. Nothing is random at this level. You are stepping into a season where obedience produces fruit more quickly. The delay between action and result shortens. This is not because God sped up time, but because alignment removes friction. When you move in harmony with heaven, momentum follows naturally. There will still be challenges ahead, but they will no longer shake your identity. Problems will arise, but they will not define you. You are anchored now. Anchored people can face waves without being swept away. This anchoring is the true gift of the journey. You may feel a quiet joy rising, not tied to circumstances, but to purpose. You know why you are here. You know what matters. You know what does not. This clarity simplifies life in powerful ways. Decisions become cleaner. Relationships become healthier. Rest becomes deeper. Archangel Michael's final instruction here is simple but profound. Walk forward without fear. You are not stepping into uncertainty. You are stepping into alignment. God has gone before you. What you could not control has already been arranged. What you could not see has already been handled. Do not minimize what you have survived. Do not forget who you were when this journey began. The growth within you is evidence of God's faithfulness. You are not who you used to be, and you are no longer limited by who you were. This message did not reach you accidentally. You were meant to hear it at this exact moment, because your spirit was prepared to receive it. Let it anchor you. Let it remind you that heaven keeps its word. Type "I walk in alignment" in the comments if you receive this message fully. Blessing code 9903 is now activated. Now hear this final word as a continuation, not a conclusion. This message, this journey, this revelation is not meant to stop with you. God is using this channel as a river to carry light into places still waiting for clarity. I am speaking to you directly now. This is your moment to respond. When you release support through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not funding a channel. You are fueling a calling. Scripture declares that when you sow into good ground, harvest follows you. This act is prophetic, urgent, and aligned with the shift you have just walked through. I speak blessing over every seed released. May your obedience unlock provision, peace, and divine acceleration. Do not hesitate. Obey now and become part of what God is expanding through this work.